Hello everybody and welcome back to Reading for Vocabulary. We're continuing with our subject of sports. And in this time, we're talking, the lesson 6 is talking about playing favorites. Playing favorites, that means we're going to focus on, let's think about your favorite sports teams. So when we think about playing favorites, we're going to think about who are your favorite sports teams and what do people do to support their favorite sports teams. Well, we can say a lot of things about that. Of course, when we think about our favorite sports teams, Koreans are very enthusiastic about cheering for their favorite sports teams. For example, the Korean national team, especially, for example, the Korean national soccer team. Do you remember the 2002 World Cup? Maybe it's too long ago, you don't remember. But at that time, it was really a big event in Korea. This is at Gwanghwamun Square, right? Gwanghwamun in downtown Seoul. It's crazy. Oh, I'm sorry, not Gwanghwamun. Gwanghwamun is over here, Chogi. This is City Hall. This is City Hall. I forgot because they changed the building. It looks different now. But look at this plaza. Wow, there's so many people. I mean, there's a street here. There's another street here. But there's so many people, you can't even see the streets. No cars today, right? Because there are so many people cheering for the 2002 soccer, World Soccer Tournament, right? Which is called the World Cup, the World Soccer Cup. So it's amazing. It was really amazing. I was actually in Korea at this time. I remember driving over, this is Gwanghwamun over here. I remember driving by, my friend was on the back of my motorcycle and was taking pictures. It was pretty interesting. And so yeah, it was really amazing. So many people came out and cheered for their soccer team. Okay, people will go crazy supporting their team, right? These people here, what country has blue people? No, I'm just kidding. They're not really blue. They're using blue paint on their faces to support the color of their favorite team. Where are they from? Well, we can see from their headbands that it looks like Japanese. That's the flag of Japan, right? The sun, the rising sun. And these guys are Japanese sports fans. Okay, so they're out cheering their team. And you see they're really enthusiastic about cheering for their team. They wear crazy costumes and they paint their faces or their bodies different colors. These guys are Japanese fans. We can also see other examples, right? Who are these guys? Blue and yellow, right? And these three people here, they look like they're aliens from another world, right? No, I'm just kidding. They're wearing some kind of thing over their head. They're from Sweden. Of course, that's the Swedish flag. So these are Swedish fans, again, probably soccer fans, who are cheering for their team. Look at this guy. He really went all out, painting almost his whole body for the game. This kid, where is this kid from? You can see the flag of America, the stars and the stripes. So he's an American fan. And these people over here, where are they from? Well, we know this red cross. We've seen it so many times before. That, of course, is the symbol for Switzerland. So we can see fans from different countries will go crazy, kind of. They'll do very impressive or very unusual things to show their support for their home team, or whatever team they're favorite of. Now, of course, these are international sporting events. Within the nation, inside of America, for example, people won't paint the American flag on their bodies because everybody's American. But like if somebody's from Chicago and somebody's from New York, they'll wear the colors or paint their bodies in the colors of their home or city team. Okay, and they will do that, or they'll wear the jerseys, the famous jerseys. Jersey is the sport shirt that the athlete wears with the number on the back of their favorite player on that team. And that's what fans will do. They'll show their support. Okay, well, before we go into the reading, of course, we need to learn some vocabulary. So let's take a look at some vocabulary having to do with supporting your favorite team. Our first word is, of course, a group of people working together. Look at these big guys here. They're very big, aren't they? They look strong. They look tough. This, of course, is a football team. When I say football, I mean American football. Some, of course, Europeans say football is soccer. They don't use the word soccer. But in America, if you say football, you're talking about this. You're not talking about soccer. You're talking about wearing the helmet and the football, throwing it. It's a different sport. But anyway, whether it's football, soccer, or European football, what do you have? You have a group of people working together. Of course, we say that's a team. And we talked about that before. You will support your favorite team. Next word, beyond, at a greater point. So if you're here and you want to go beyond, you want to go further down the road, the word, of course, is further. You want to go beyond. You want to go at a greater point than where you are now. Of course, further doesn't just mean distance. It can also mean, you know, if you want to improve your studies, you want to improve something further, right? Or are there any further questions is another very common expression. Are there more questions? Are there questions beyond right now that we can explore these different areas? So in some cases, we have different expressions with further. Are there any further questions? We have to go a little further, okay? Of course, we can get confused with farther. If you say farther, A-R-T-H-E-R, you're only talking about distance, farther. We have much farther to go today. Okay. Number 3, a person who supports a team or a person. We talked about that, right? These people who are dressed in different colors in their team, these people, this is, like I said before, this is inside America. They're not dressed in the national flag of America. They're dressed in the colors of their team, probably their college team. And of course, they're called fans. Of course, that's it right here, fan. A fan is a person who is supporting their team. Now, you can have a super fan. Super fans. Most people are normal fans, right? They cheer for their team, they go out. But super fans, they really go crazy. Okay. Okay, number 4. A small, tasty meal. So sometimes between breakfast and lunch, you get hungry. Especially between lunch and dinner, you might get hungry. What do you want? You want to eat a snack. A snack. Please remember that. Snack is countable. Let's have a snack. Not let's have snack. No, let's have a snack. Did you have a snack this afternoon? Okay. What do you want to have for a snack? Okay. So snack is countable in this case. We say but even though if you have like many pieces of fruit and maybe a candy bar, you call it all a snack. So a snack is kind of like the entire thing that you eat during that short time. That's a snack. But usually it's just one thing, like a candy bar or a piece of fruit. Okay. Number 5, to help or to hold up. Now, if you help somebody or if you're holding something up, what are you doing? You are supporting. You're supporting that. This is what fans do. Fans support their teams. But you could also use support in many different ideas. For example, if a house is built on a hill, you might have like pillars supporting the house, right? It just means to hold something up. So support can be used in different ideas. In this case, though, we're talking about supporting a team, right? You're showing your energy or your support for that team. Number 6, very serious and extreme. If something's very serious, very extreme, we say it is intense. Sometimes, of course, at the international level, at the World Cup level, soccer players are the best in the world. Their play is very intense. They're very serious about their sport. And sometimes they do some extreme moves, right? Like maybe they kick backwards, right? The goal is behind them, they kick and the ball goes behind them into the goal. That is extreme, that's very intense. And of course, as fans, we like to see those intense moments. That's what makes the game very exciting. 7, having a lot of energy. So if somebody has a lot of energy, we say they're energetic. That's very easy, right? Energy is the noun. Energetic is the adjective. He has a lot of energy. He is energetic. Okay? So that would be the adjective for energy. 8. To quit or to stop trying. Okay, if somebody stops trying, like they're boxing and somebody falls down, they can't get up, they say, I've had enough. What do? They give up. Sometimes when kids fight, they shouldn't fight really, but sometimes you'll see the kids will hold the other kid on the ground and say, "Do you give up?" Or usually brothers, when they're fighting, right? One brother say, "Will you give up? You know, stop fighting, right? Let's stop fighting." But they want the other person to give up. Or sometimes in a video game, you say, "Oh, it's hopeless. I don't want to play to the end because I know I can't win, so I give up." That means to quit or to stop trying. I give up, or do you give up? Okay. Number 9, an entertaining and difficult action. What is an entertaining and difficult action? We can say a trick. A trick is something that magicians, this is a magic trick, right? We usually think of trick in terms of magic. Some famous magicians will do tricks that are difficult to do, but they're very entertaining. It's also difficult to figure out, how did he do that, right? And that is a trick. Number 10. What the heck is that? Okay, that's not a real animal, right? It's an animal, a personality that is a symbol of a team. So somebody who's a symbol of a team, you have different symbols for different teams in Korea, right? But we call those things mascot, a mascot. So different teams will have different animals, or like a person in a funny costume, and they are the mascot. So usually it's an animal like bears or eagles, dolphins, something like that. They will be the mascot for the team. The next one, number 11, is to walk over violently. Of course, this is acting right here. She's walking over this guy violently. She's trampling this guy. But usually when you think about this word trample, it's not just one person. It's like a crowd of people. Many people, and maybe they're scared, or maybe they're excited, or they're very enthusiastic, and they don't think about safety, right? They're just running as a group. And sometimes this can be very dangerous, especially in crowded or narrow areas where many people are moving, and somebody falls down. Other people might not even know that person is there because there's so many people, they will trample the person who's on the ground. So usually this is not, it's usually many people walking over another person, or it doesn't even have to be a person. You can trample the ground. If there's grass and many people trample the grass, then they walk over the grass, maybe they ruin the grass. So you trample in an area. Okay. 12, a sweet drink with bubbles in it. A sweet drink with bubbles in it. You're thinking bubble tea? Well, we think about soda. The bubbles are little gas, little bubbles of gas. Of course, when you pour Coca-Cola or cider, you say cider in Korea. In America, we'd say Sprite, or we would say a 7-Up. You have the carbonation, the little bubbles that rise in the drink. And that's a sweet drink with bubbles in it. Not bubble tea. Oh, you could say that, but in this case, we're talking about soda. 3, ink that is under the skin forever. So somebody will have, an artist will draw or put this ink under the skin of a person. It's kind of painful to do, and once it's there forever. You can't change it. So later on, oh, I don't like it. Sorry. What are you going to do? It's there, and it's very painful to get it off. So be very careful if you do this. But they're calling it a tattoo. Tattoo. Tattoo isn't an English word, by the way. It comes from the South Pacific. When the English sailors were in that area and they saw the natives, they had tattoos. And that's what they called it on those islands. They said tattoo. So the English sailors brought that word back to England with them, and it became part of the English language. Tattoo. Very interesting. Anyway, so that's a tattoo. 14. Being focused and trying hard to do something. Being focused on something, trying very hard to do it, it means you are dedicated. You are dedicated. You are focused on your task. So you are very dedicated in doing your task. Now, dedicated is an adjective. The noun, of course, is dedication. So, he has dedication. He is dedicated. He has dedication. He is dedicated. Okay, next one, 15. Whoa, this is very dangerous, right? Bullfighting. To move suddenly and powerfully in one direction. To move suddenly and powerfully in one direction. What do bulls do? Bulls charge, right? They suddenly start running towards something, and a bull is very powerful. It's charging. So it's not just bulls. Horses can charge, people can charge, teams can charge, a crowd of people can charge. It just means moving quickly and powerfully in one direction. 16, to cover with colored liquid. Of course, there's many forms or many ways to do this. What is this guy doing? Of course, he is painting a house. But of course, we can also think about artists like Rembrandt or Monet, right? They are using paint to paint beautiful pictures. So, to cover with colored liquid, whether it's very simple, like painting a house, or painting a masterpiece, like the Mona Lisa, right? Your painting is just to paint. Okay, well, that's the words. Let's take a look at the exercises, okay? The first one here, we need to fill in the blanks for all of these. The first one is, our soccer beep isn't very good. We need practice. So our soccer what? When we talk about a group of people who play soccer, they're not very good. We need to practice. So our soccer class, our soccer team, our soccer fan, or our soccer group. If you look at three of these, if you look at A, B, and D, those are all about a group of people. C is about one person. Our soccer fan isn't very good. That sounds strange. Our soccer fan is strange. So let's get rid of C. We have A, B, and D. Those are all talking about a group of people. But what's the most common way to describe a group of people who play sports? Do we say a soccer class? No, a class is for studying. Do we say a soccer group? That's close, but it's not that common to say a soccer group. It's much more common to say soccer team, and that's the answer. Our soccer team isn't very good. We need practice. So team is the best. Remember, A, B, and D are all a group of people, but B is the best answer because it's the most common way to describe a group of people who play a sport together. Okay, number 3, we're skipping 2. That storm was really what? That storm was really beep. It almost knocked that tree over. So a storm that is very strong, it almost knocks, a tree is strong, but a storm comes along and almost knocks the tree down. What is it? That storm was really brief, intense, upset, or heavy. Which one sounds the best? Storm was brief, that means very quick, so that's not right. The storm was very intense. Intense, remember, is very focused and very strong in some area, and extreme, right? So if a storm is extreme or focused on some area, it is intense and it's very strong. The storm was upset. That doesn't make sense because storms don't have feelings. Oh, that storm looks angry. Oh, that storm looks happy. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, and heavy, we don't say storms are heavy. It's a strange relationship. We don't say that. We say storms are intense or fierce or strong or dangerous. But intense is a very good word to use to describe a storm. Okay, number 5. I know I just ate supper, but I really want a what? So what do you usually eat after supper? After supper, what do you normally eat? You want something sweet. Usually after I eat supper, I want something sweet after supper. So I know I just ate supper, but what do I want? You want what? A, dessert, B, snack, C, fork, D, breakfast. Be careful here with A, dessert. Okay? There's two words that are very similar, desert and the other word is dessert. Now, be very careful. If this word had 2 S's, it would be correct because that's common. After dinner, I always want to have a little bit of dessert, like something sweet, a piece of cake, maybe a cookie, some candy, you know, just to have after dinner. And that's very common to have dessert after dinner. But desert with 1 S is like the Sahara Desert, right? Very dry, no trees, no water. So, of course, you don't eat the Sahara Desert after dinner. Well, that's crazy, right? So, desert, be careful. Desert or dessert, right? This is desert, not dessert, so it doesn't fit. Okay. B, snack. what is dessert? Dessert is like a snack, right? So that is the answer right there. A snack, B. A fork, I really want a fork. That doesn't make sense. I want breakfast after you ate supper. No, you have to sleep first. Next morning, then you have breakfast. The best answer here is snack, because I know I just ate supper. I just ate supper. I know that. But I really want a snack. I want something more to eat. Now, usually after supper, after dinner, by the way, Americans say dinner and supper are the same. It's the meal you have in the evening. After that, we usually have dessert. Dessert is only after supper. We don't have dessert after lunch. You don't have dessert after breakfast. After breakfast, after lunch, you have a snack. But you can also have a snack after dinner. After dinner, you can have dessert, or you could also call it a snack. It doesn't matter. Okay, anyway, that's kind of complicated. Number 7. My dad always beat me in school. What does your dad always do with you in school? Does he clean you in school? I hope not. The other kids were, right? Strange dad. Okay, then don't do that. My dad always packs me in school, puts you in a suitcase? No, that's crazy. My dad always supports me in school. He supports me in school. That's interesting. Or my dad always brings me in school. Supports sounds correct. What about brings? Can we say my dad always brings me in school? No, because we use brings you to school. So the correct answer is support. My dad always supports me in school. You support someone in something. I support him in his efforts. I support him in his field or in his job. But you bring somebody to a place. So support is the correct answer here. Okay, well, let's take a break here. We'll take a short break and we'll go into the reading section next, so don't go away.